Well, good morning, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me again. Today we're in the Bronte Country, which is the sort of area above Howarth in West Yorkshire, and we're just exploring this moorland. We've not done this route before, so it's all new to us, and there should be some really nice waterfalls just up ahead, the Bronte waterfalls. I'm going to take a look at those and then continue on the sort of moorland round across it, and then obviously back into Howarth itself. So yeah, it's a really interesting walk. This is about 6 miles altogether, so like I say, it should be really interesting. It's a really nice day today as well. The weather's looking pretty good. It is a bit of a blue sky day, but there is some nice sort of like wispy cloud around, so it is still providing a little bit of interest in the sky there. I've taken a few shots as I've been walking along there, the first sort of like half mile, and I'll put them on screen for you in a minute. But yeah, it's looking really nice today, so it's good to get out and obviously explore this new area. Once we get down to the waterfalls, I'll put you back on and show you the compositions that I've got and what the area is like as well. As you can see, I got my first composition set up of the waterfalls, and it's looking quite nice. This has been quite challenging to find something interesting. Obviously it's quite a flat sort of waterfall section. This normally would have like a main waterfall that you can kind of focus in on. So I'm just focusing in on this little section of river here because it kind of makes like a bit of an S-curve going through the scene, and I think that looks really nice going through to the kind of bridge in the background. And I've got this sort of main tree here as the sort of like main element in the sort of mid-ground. I think this little bit of section of river looks really nice. Has got a few cascades in there, so that's looking really nice as well. So I've taken some fast shutter speeds of that, and I've also got the ND filter on there and bumped it up to like F11 just to try and cut down as much light as possible and get the sort of water smoothed out as much as possible. And I'm quite liking sort of like 1.5 seconds. That's looking pretty nice. It's still got that bit of detail in the water, but it's also sort of smoothing out some of the sections there in these sort of rock pool areas down here, so that's looking quite nice as well. Again, the polarizer as well is looking pretty good. It's making all the sort of like colours pop in the scene. It's sort of taking off that sheen as well, because there is quite a lot of sheen coming off the sort of water. Like I said, it is the middle of the day now, so it's looking pretty bright. Normally you'd sort of want to do it on like a sort of cloudy day, photographing water and waterfalls during the sort of peak of the sort of sunlight. It's looking pretty bright and quite contrasty. But I think it looks quite nice, this scene. So I'll put these on screen for you now. I'll put the faster shutter speed on there with the sort of like more detail in the rapids. I'll also put on the longer exposure, 1.5 seconds, and just let me know which one you think. And yeah, we're going to move on now up onto the moorland and continue on. Okay, so I've just had some lunch at the top of this hill here. This is kind of like the highest point of the walk, and this is actually called Top Withens, and this is where the Bronte sisters kind of hang out, and they sort of had the inspiration for the novels that they wrote. So yeah, it's a nice little place, a few little bits of information, and it's actually a bit of a kind of a bothy inside, so I suppose like in winter, if it's quite harsh up here, then you could go in there and get a bit of shelter. It's quite nice just to get in there out of the wind. I suppose like if it was snowing or something, it'd be really good just to get up there. But we've had some lunch now, so just making our way back down, kind of like the second half of the path, and yeah, it's looking really nice up here. There's quite a few little birds kind of like flying around. There is quite a few nesting areas around here, so there's some like signs of giving you some information regarding the nesting. I think obviously with it being middle of the day, they're not kind of as active as what they would be like in the evening, so at dusk and dawn, that kind of thing. But yeah, I've been taking a few shots of the birds, and I'll put them on screen for you, and hopefully like those. It's quite fun just to try and do a little bit of wildlife photography and try something different. So yeah, if I find something else I'll put you back on once we start moving across this moor now. Okay, so we're heading back down towards Howarth now and towards the reservoir down there, Lower Laith Reservoir. I don't know if you can see that in the distance, but just noticed over there on the horizon some windmills, and that's over on Ogden Moor. And it's a really nice nature reserve there if you ever want to visit this area. Ogden Water it's called, and there's some really nice woodland up there, and the windmills really make a nice subject as well. So I've been up there probably about a year ago now when I went up last, and I've taken some really nice shots of those windmills, so I'll probably put them on screen for you now and just show you what it's like up there. It's a really nice, interesting place. There's a nice big reservoir to walk around as well, and yeah, it's just ideal for all abilities. It's quite flat there as well around that reservoir. So I'll put you back on once I get down to the reservoir and I've got my shot set up. I've got a nice little shot that I've got in mind, and I want to just have a practice of that. It's not really the ideal time, again, blue sky sort of middle of the day, but I'm going to try and have a practice of that and just see how it turns out, and then I can return to that location maybe at sunset or sunrise when the conditions are a bit more interesting. So yeah, I'll put you back on once we get down there. Okay, as you can see there, we've made it down to the reservoir now. This is Lower Laith Reservoir, and I've been wanting to come and shoot this sort of Victorian sort of pumping station for quite a while now, and I think it makes a really nice, interesting structure. It is quite a nice ornate building, and I think it looks really nice against this nice backdrop of sort of trees, and obviously smoothing out the water as well, just to make it a little bit more simple, get rid of those distractions in the sort of ripples and the highlights in the water. I think it makes a really nice shot, this. So again, I've got the camera f/22 again because it's really bright, and it is basically too bright for sort of long exposures really, but if you pump that f-stop right up to f/22, make that as small as possible, the aperture, and put on the ND filter as well, you can kind of get away with it. So about 2 seconds I've got here exposure. That's providing some really nice sort of smoothed out effects on the water, which is what I want, like I said, just to get rid of them distractions. And yeah, it makes a really nice shot, this. So I'm just going to take that now. Again, just focusing on that sort of ornate building, just to try and make sure everything's really nice and sharp and I capture all that detail really nicely. Like I said before, it's a bit of a scouting shot, this, so I'm not too bothered if it turns out fantastic, but I think it'll be quite nice to come back here maybe one night on a sunset, get those clouds really popping, that colour in the sky, make some really nice, interesting sort of like environmental conditions with that, sort of like fog or something as well. That might look good. Okay, so I'm going to end the video there. Hopefully you've enjoyed this week's video, the images I've taken. It's been a really nice walk, this. If you want to do it yourself, I'll put the route on afterwards at the end of the video. And yeah, if you have enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the like and share button, and leave me a comment down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Until the next one, bye for now.